Evaluation questions don't appear on the GMAT very often, but it's best to be prepared for them. As with strengthen and weaken questions, you'll need to identify the conclusion, evidence, and assumption. Then ask yourself, what kind of evidence would make this assumption more or less likely to be true? The answer choices are almost always questions. Let's go back again to this example. Again, the evidence is that poison's harmful. The conclusion is that chemical X is harmful. The assumption is that chemical X is a poison. On an evaluation question, the correct answer might ask, is X poisonous? But it could also ask a question that's a bit more subtle, like, is X safe for humans and other animals to ingest? Or, has the Food and Drug Administration declared that X is a poison? The answer to any of these questions would tell you a lot about the strength or weakness of the author's argument. And that's what you need in a question of this type. Incorrect evaluation answer choices are out of scope. The information they ask for would have little or no effect on the argument. Now you'll get a chance to work through an evaluation problem. First, let's examine the question stem. This phrase, the answer to which of the following questions would be most useful, indicates that this is indeed an evaluation question. But there's something else here that's important. Noticing this detail will actually prevent you from falling victim to a clever trap answer on this problem. It's right here. The claim that caffeine will be efficacious in relieving headaches among herb wellness customers. As you'll discover in a moment, this particular stimulus actually includes a two-part conclusion, 2 scope shifts, and 2 assumptions. But this helpful phrase in the stem tells you explicitly which half of the argument to focus your attention on. Because evaluation questions are part of the assumption family, begin by identifying the conclusion and evidence. Start with this conclusion keyword, the word therefore. It signals that the last sentence has the main point. But remember what you learned from the stem. It's just this part that interests you. Adding caffeine to the headache remedy will be efficacious. That is, it will work. The evidence is here. A study showed that people's heads stopped hurting as soon as they had a dose of caffeine similar to what they'd get from a cup of coffee. The author's assumption is that when caffeine is an ingredient in the headache medicine, it'll have the same effect that it did in the study. But consider, was there something special about the people in the study, or the way that the caffeine was given to them, that made it especially useful? Will caffeine work the same way when herb wellness customers try it? These questions, not the answers, but the questions themselves, make up your prediction. Now let's search the answer choices for a match. We'll start from the top. Answer choice A asks about the length of the headache relief provided by caffeine as compared to other headache remedies. This question is out of scope, and like many wrong answers in critical reasoning, it makes an irrelevant comparison. Knowing how caffeine stacks up to aspirin doesn't help answer whether caffeine will work in an herbal headache pill. Answer choice A is incorrect. Answer choice B, on the other hand, sounds a lot like your prediction. If the people in the study were just suffering from coffee withdrawal, then caffeine may not do much to relieve the suffering of the people who will buy the herbal medicine. If the answer to the question posed in answer choice B is 2%, then the argument is strengthened. If the answer is 58%, then the argument is weakened. That makes this question a perfect choice for an evaluation problem. B is the right answer. But let's take a quick look at the others. Answer choice C is incorrect because the question stem directs you to evaluate the claim of caffeine's effectiveness as a headache drug, not its cost effectiveness. Answer choice C is that trap answer I mentioned earlier. If you weren't paying attention to the question stem, you might have lost a lot of time pondering this choice. Answer choice D is similar to answer choice C. Whether caffeine is natural might matter a great deal to Herb Wellness and its customers, but it wouldn't have any effect on the very narrow question mentioned in the stem. Will caffeine cure the headaches? Answer choice D isn't right. And answer choice E, likewise, is out of scope. Whether customers actually buy the new headache remedy has no impact on its potential effectiveness in relieving their headaches. As you've seen, the basic skill set and method for evaluation questions is quite similar to those for assumption, strengthen, and weaken questions. In all of these assumption family questions, once you've identified the argument's logical gap and considered how to bridge it, you've done the most important work. In all of these question types, finding the assumption is the key.